MyGig, Our Gig, por aqui vamos recuperar material histórico, passou no Hypertensão e também no Curto, Circuito. Hoje focamos-nos no Sr. Brian Jonhson, dos AC/DC. Na altura estava a promover o álbum Black Ice e entretanto foi reeditada toda a discografia dos AC/DC em vinil e temos aqui um bom motivo de conversa para recuperar este momento com o simpático Brian Jonhson. Ele estava num hotel na Alemanha e foi lá que nos recebeu, muito bem disposto, perguntou-nos, então, de onde é que tu és? Eu disse, olha, venho de Portugal, moro em Sintra. Ele disse, Sintra? Olha, eu já estive a fazer corridas de carros no autódromo do Estoril. Eu disse, caramba, boa, Brian. E lembrou-se logo de outro episódio. E também fui à vila e tentei comprar uma garrafa de vinho do Porto, mas a senhora aconselhou-me a não fazê-lo porque ele se iria estragar na viagem de avião. E, entretanto, convidou-me para para almoçar com eles. E eu aceitei o convite. António, nem queiras saber o que foi estar ali naquele ambiente, a comer uma sardinha com uma côdea de pão e a lembrar-me que soldados há 2000 anos estiveram ali a combater e aquele ambiente ficou-me para sempre na minha memória. Isto é um exemplo do que é o Sr. Brian Jonhson dos AC/DC. Vamos ficar com a conversa que realizamos com ele em 2008. Brian Jonhson, AC/DC.
And I left the place and I said to the lady, please, if you would like to come and see the show. And she said, I would love to see the show. And she came with her husband and to see the show and all that. And she brought me a beautiful bottle of, she said, this port you can drink. It's a gift from me. And she said, it's only about 20 years old. And I went, and she said, but still be very careful and drink it in your hotel room. So I got Cliff Williams, the bass player, because he likes his port, and we sat there, a couple of big cigars, and I sat out on the balcony in the hotel after we'd finished the gig, and we were just sitting going, oh, fuck. It was fantastic. Sorry, I just didn't realise that my favourite town is where he comes from. Sintra.
It's very near Lisbon, 30 minutes off.
And also very near the racetrack, the...
Autódromo do Estoril.
Yes, where they test the race cars and stuff. So,
yeah, it's true. Do you know?
Estoril?
Estoril, yeah. Autódromo.
Yeah.
Autódromo do Estoril, yeah. There's a disco there. It stays the same for the last 35 years.
Yeah, Jesus.
Guess what's the favorite band of that disco?
No, I don't know.
Come on, man.
Beatles? No, it's not us.
AC/DC, man.
Jesus Christ.
It's the band there.
Well, I'm very lucky because I'm doing a program on television. I've already done 2 episodes. It's about motor cars, about racing.
Really?
And
later, what's the name of it?
Well, at the minute it's going to be called Fastlane.
Okay.
And I've already done 2 episodes, and the third. And one of the episodes is I'm going to drive last year's Renault Formula 1 car.
Okay.
But I had to get my super license to be able to do that. So I got my super license this year, last year, November, and I'm going to go there and they're going to film. I've already been to the Renault factory.
Okay.
Now I'm going to go to the track and I'm going to race it. They're going to let me drive it anyway. So I'm really looking forward to it. Next year, I think, as soon as we get a gap in the tour, I'm going to fly straight there and they're going to put me in the car.
And do it.
Well, I had to prove to them that I'd won some races. So on the first episode, they followed me to Sebring, and in my new race car, and I came 3rd overall and 1st in class. Great. In my very first professional race. So I was fucking very happy. So now I get to drive the Renault. So to you guys. Okay, sorry about that. I'm just going to talk about the AC/DC now. Sorry about that.
This is the stuff. Are we ready, guys?
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, brilliant. So, Brian, you probably told me that's why you guys were all this time long without an album and so on. You were enjoying yourselves. You were with your races.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the questions people always ask. What's happening with the AC/DC,
Yeah.
man?
Well, it was busy as well. I mean, honestly, you know, when we finished in 2001, and then we got together to do some gigs with the Stones in 2002. We went to Canada to do the SARS benefit in Toronto, which was fantastic. A big 500,000 people there. It was great. The Stones were there too. And then we did the last show at the Hammersmith Odeon. And then after that, I got together with Malcolm and Angus for about 6 weeks to see what we had. And then I went home for a month, came back again for 6 weeks. And then Mal and Ang said, well, I tell you what, Brian, you know, we've still got lots more ideas that we'll have to put down. We'll give you a call when we're ready. And after about a year, I'm going, hello, I'm still here. Like, geez, sorry. But at the same time, we were leaving, we did want to leave our old record company and join Sony. Because they had so many fabulous, fresh ideas, you know, that they really wanted to push the band and make the music more available than it was, you know, the existing music. And they also wanted to have a new album, a studio album. And we thought that was real cool from what you call a regular record company. Yeah. It's not iTunes, it's nothing like that. It's a regular record company. And they were so enthusiastic, which made us enthusiastic. But then, you know, there was Family Jewels, which we had to look at and sort out. So there's lots of little things that held us up. But at the same time, it is too long. But I think at the end of the day, it all worked in our favour because, you know, but when we did get back into the studio, we were like 5 kids. You know, we just couldn't wait to get started.
Hungry.
Yeah, it was cool. And we had Brendan O'Brien, who was the most enthusiastic man I think I've ever met in my life. I think you meet 1 or 2 or 3 people like this in your life. You know, the kind of guy that when he leaves the room, the lights go out.
Yeah.
He's that kind of man. And it's just a wonderful kind of man to have around you. And we made friends with him immediately, which is always tough when somebody enters this inner circle of 5 guys, you know, the 5 AC/DC guys. And then straight away, as soon as the first chords were played, I was sitting watching the guys and the hairs on my arm, I was going, whoa. I said, boy, these guys are good, you know. And then from then on, it was just a joy, you know. Everything went so quickly. And it was the quickest album we've done since Back in Black.
8 weeks,
yeah, well, actually, it was less than that. I mean, I only sang physically for 6 weeks. It was tremendous. I mean, the trouble was they were going so fast. I'd say after I'd finished singing a song, I'd say, "Excuse me, Brendan, can I hear what I did?" "No, we're too busy. We're going to the next thing. See you later. Go home. Get out of here." But okay. So I'd go in. He said, "Here, take tomorrow's music with you and see what kind of melody you can come out with." Yeah. So I'd take it back to the hotel room and I'd listen to it and I'd be, you know, trying to figure out a melody that would fit it and how it would work. And then the next day I'd come in and he'd go, "Come on, get in, let's go." And off I'd go, you know. So it was a wonderful experience because we just felt like we were a young band really trying to prove ourselves again. Yeah. You know, because the trouble is with being in a band this long, and it's wonderful that people have kept with it this long, but there's always the critic. And the people, you know, the negative people in the world who are just saying, you know, well, it's the same. It's this. It's the same. It's AC/DC. Here they come again. You know, why don't they just go away? You know, you've always got that side who just love to see people collapse. And we've always been fighters. We've always believed in what we're doing, you know. And Malcolm especially, who literally, it was his brainchild when he started this band. Angus was still at school.
Yeah, totally.
When he said, "You're going to start a band, you come with me." And what? You know, I haven't been in a band before, you know. Mm-hmm. I think he'd been playing with a few friends and all that. Yeah. And there was a pick of a lot of great guitarists in Sydney that Malcolm could have picked on, but he wanted his brother, he knew, and he said, "And keep the school suit on." Basically, he didn't have time. He'd come straight home from school and run out to rehearsals with his school suit and with his father and mother going, "Get back here!" And he had his little guitar in his hand and he'd be running down the street. I know this because they didn't tell me that. The sister told me this. Margaret told me. So I know all the dirt on the young brothers. Oh, yes, because his mother and father told me. So, and it never changed from them. And Malcolm's idea was to build a rock band that was no nonsense, non-political, non-religious, that don't get mixed up with anything and keep music for what it is.
Just for the fun of it.
It's for the fun of it, That's it. There shouldn't be anything else. If you've got a political idea, keep it to yourself.
Right on.
Nobody else wants to hear what you think. Bullshit.
No, rock and roll should be about that. And
I know.
that's the life, the philosophy of AC/DC.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
Always have been,
And keep yourself true to your fans. The people who buy your records and stick with you. If you sell out, you just look like a traitor. You know what I mean? You just look like Jesus, I thought that, I can imagine if we turned up on the Portuguese morning breakfast show and, "Hi Brian, how are you?" Fuck up, because we're not going to do that, but whatever.
Writing for the album, how did it start? It's always the brothers and then they just give you an idea.
Well, yes, basically it's the brothers, and the brothers work hard at a riff. And then they always come up with with a title for the song. That's always seems to. They come up with these great titles, like Big Jack. I was going, "Oh yeah, Big Jack," and they go, "No, not Big Jack, Brian." I was going, "Sorry, but that's just me. I can't help it."
It's the obvious thing.
I always think the opposite. I always think that. But the boys have got the lyrics there and everything. But when I come in, my job as a singer is to bring life to the songs and bring some, bring melody. And if there's something missing, I write it in myself. I just write it in. I'm going, "Oh yeah, I'll do that." And it's teamwork, and it's like Phil, the drummer. Phil is Phil. He's wonderful, Phil. You love Phil. Phil in the morning. "Hey Phil, how you doing? Good morning." Yeah. Cigarette.
Always.
Did you have a good breakfast this morning? Yeah. What time do you start today? What time are you starting the day early? Well, there you go. Well, it's been wonderful talking to you. I'll see you later, Phil. But the great thing about Phil was that after about 2 weeks, I was looking at Phil, because Phil's in the kit, he's always going. I mean, the drumsticks are going like this and everything, but you see, you think nothing's happened.
Yeah.
You think he looks like he's changing a kid's diaper.
Yeah.
You think he's changing somebody's, or doing something, or making a model aeroplane, but his drums, his hands are going. He had this piece of paper, this big piece of paper, on one of the cymbals. And after about 2 weeks, I'm like, what is that? It can't be lyrics, because he doesn't sing.
Yeah.
So one day we took a break and I snuck round the back and I had a look, and it was this huge pair of tits. No woman. There's no woman on it. Just this big set of knockers. And I went, "Phil, what's this?" He said, "Inspiration." That's all I got out of him. He's a good. I love him. I love him. I remember once we went for dinner with Phil. This is Phil. I went for dinner once with him. I went to a Japanese restaurant and he ordered some dinner and he got his first, because Phil eats. He's skillet.
Yeah.
He eats. He can eat anything.
Yeah.
He can eat a horse and then come back for the jockey.
Yeah.
He just doesn't stop. And this is Phil typically. And he'd ordered his dinner and he was halfway through. I said, "Phil, I'm going to go outside with a cigarette," because mine hadn't come yet. I went outside, had a cigarette, come back in, and I was sitting there, I'm going, "Where's my dinner?" And he was eating it. I said, "That's my dinner." He went, "Oh, I know, sorry." I said, "What are you eating it for?" He said, "I was hungry." I love him. He's just crackers. He's mental as a fruitcake. Love you, Phil.
Brilliant. And War Machine, for instance, that song is about what?
Well, I know Angus is like me. He's a great historian, and I remember he watching that program on the History Channel about the Romans and the Greeks and the Egyptians, how they made these huge, big catapults in the old days. You know, they shot the big arrows and the big balls and all that, and even had flamethrowers.
Yeah,
it's called Greek fire. That's what it was called. And he was fascinated with that, and so was I. And we were talking, and I said, you know, I think the only difference between war machines then and war machines now is war machines now have electricity and microchips and laser beams, and they know exactly where it's landing. The trouble is, it still kills civilians. There's no difference, you know. So there's no difference in it. We just think we know what we're doing. But it still kills civilians.
Yeah,
it's just like the old ones did. So, and so it basically is a cynical dig at the whole business. You know, you better watch your back. You know, and all of this kind of stuff. And you know, you're just obeying orders. You know, if you're just a regular soldier, fire. 20 seconds later, there's 50 civilians dead. And you know, oops, sorry, wrong building. You know, and that is just, you know, basically stupidity. You know. So anyway, that's what it's about, basically. You know that.
So probably that's the most serious song on this album.
Kind of, it kind of, but we don't want to make it too bad. It's basically, once again, we always have a side that is tongue-in-cheek. And basically the whole idea is, it's just stupid. It's just stupid, stupid, stupid.
Completely.
The whole thing is stupid. And we can't ever get away from, you know, putting the tongue in the cheek and just going, you know, let's just make fun of this. Because, and it's not funny. I know that, you know, we're not trying to say it is, but that's about as serious as you can get. But
it's ironic because people still do it after all this year.
And the thing is going to change something. You know.
It's
rock and roll. That's the way to go. Let's get a big army of rock and rollers and wipe the bloody lot out. Sorry.
It seems to go like that.
God damn it! I got myself all political.
No, come on. You have an opinion.
Yep, that's it.
It doesn't work to anyone. Another brilliant fact is that you guys being so long, you sold so many albums with the re-editions and so on. It's amazing the power, the standing power of AC/DC.
Yeah, it still makes us scratch our heads. You know, you know, as I said today earlier on, when I get a phone call from the office and they're going, hey, guess what? You've just overtaken the Beatles in catalogue sales. And I'm going, what? You know, in catalogue sales, you've just overtaken the Beatles this year. And you're going, the Beatles? You can't overtake the Beatles. Well, you have. You know, just for that year in back sales and catalogue sales. And it's hard because they're my idols, the Beatles. This guy cannot overtake them. They're too good. And it really does take some believing, but none of the boys are affected by it. You know, as I said before, the AC/DC are bad at one thing, very bad, and that is celebrity. We don't know how to do it. I mean, we're absolutely useless at it. Hey guys, this is London, and we'd like to have you at the awards ceremony for the Brit Awards, saying how fabulous we all are. Are you coming? Fuck off. And people, you know, actually love that kind of stuff. They all turn up, and they're idiots, and they just made it look stupid. And if I was a fan of one of them people and I saw him on stage and he was drunk and he was going, I'm brilliant, which they're doing, I said, get the fuck out. I think maybe the thing was with AC/DC and the fans that have been stuck with is we tell the truth, and we stick by the truth, and we don't sell out. We're trying to keep our ticket prices as cheap as possible, you know, because we've got such a big show and crew to pay for, you know. But we do try to keep it down, and it's hard to put your finger on. I can't really explain it, but I'm very grateful for it, and I'm very grateful for the fans for making us, putting us in this position, because we didn't do it. We certainly didn't do it. It was them that did it.
Come on. You guys did the music. That's
well, we did the music, but these guys have to buy it and keep us there.
Of course,
you know, so it's a two-way thing. Let's put it that way. You know, we deserve each other.
For sure, that's it. That's the main and most important thing. And tell me, I heard some story that iTunes are boycotting the AC/DC. What's happening there?
No, they're not boycotting it. It's we just didn't sign up.
Oh, okay.
We're the last band in the world, I believe. I think the Beatles sold. The Beatles signed with them earlier this year, and we just said no.
Any
not yet.
particular reason? Not yet.
Well, it's just
you're studying your options.
Yeah.
probably.
Well, the reason is we still believe in an album that you open up. And it's got the sleeve in, and it's got the information in, rather than going, I'll have track 1, 3, 4, and 5. That's it. And then never listen to the rest of the album, which is it's a shame, you know, they're missing out on stuff. And the great thing is with this album, it's like in America, especially Walmart are selling it for $11 for 15 songs. That's cheaper than iTunes. Now, there's nothing wrong with iTunes. I think it's a fabulous thing to how to get your music and all that. But I'm always worried about that big brother, dictator thing. We'll tell you what to listen to.
Yeah, okay.
You can't have that this month. Next year we're bringing it out. You know, I'm sorry, I may be going to extremes, but I just get a little afraid when one company does everything, and it's all the music is down to them, and that's an extreme.
Okay.
But you never know. You never know what happens in the future. So we'll just take our time. You know, it was the same with CDs and all that. When they first came out, you know, a lot of the record companies took a lot of money away for groups because they said it was an experimental package. Well, of course it wasn't. And we said, the fuck out of here. You're not getting any money off us. But we're experimenting. No, you're not. If you experiment, you wouldn't be selling it. So you've got to be careful with people, especially people who make money from music.
Yeah.
You've got to be careful, and because they can get carried away. You know, you remember it hasn't been long ago when in the 70s, where most artists got 1% of their record, 1%. So they could sell 1 million records, and they get 1% of it, and the record company made all the more, you know, the management. So those days aren't long ago, and now the artists are starting to get a little more power, and boom, in comes iTunes.
Yeah.
And the record companies are gone. I mean, they're literally disappearing in front of our eyes. And the trouble is, if you don't have record companies, who's going to pay money to the young bands who want to make new music to go into the studio? They won't be able to afford to go into the studio because the record companies won't have any money to give them. And as soon as they make a record, somebody downloads it, they're not going to make any money. Then all of a sudden, it becomes impossible for them to become international because, you know, literally they have to play in their own country to make some money to buy their equipment. Before you know where you are, you're going to be disappearing right up there. And there's going to be no new music. I mean,
I totally agree with you.
It's ludicrous, and it worries me too. But it's so easy to go. I mean, I see kids now there's a new movie on there going, and they've downloaded them.
Yeah.
And how the fuck did you do that? So it's easy, Uncle Brian. I don't want to know, you know. And he's just got to be careful, you know.
But yeah, at the same time, you have a great deal that. 3 million album already?
Yeah, but at least people are going to have them in their hand.
But at the same time, it's a very bright and intelligent way to sell the thing and have a number already.
Well, you sell it cheap. It's the fans win, we win.
Everyone.
Everybody wins.
You guys are reaching people on the stores that they go to.
Yes.
Because nowadays, I heard that that Tower Records on Sunset Boulevard closed, Is that true?
Yeah, that's getting ready to close.
Oh man, it's impossible.
But, and that, I mean,
that's an historic place.
Everybody that goes to Los Angeles, the first thing you do, you went to Tower Records, and wow, and you saw the artwork outside that the paint.
Completely.
It was stunning.
It's been there from the 60s.
Yes, and now but it's been hit by the iTunes. You know, iTunes has got everything. People just don't go to the store anymore. They don't browse, you know, they don't have a look, they don't see things they might buy if they've seen it. But anyway, listen.
No problem. I'm just, for instance, one question which I think maybe it's a bit stupid, but I'm going to ask.
I'm stupid, ask us.
No. Did you guys ever thought of doing another ballad in the way of Ride On, for instance?
I think the closest one we have to a ballad is, I think the closest one is now is Rock and Roll Dream.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a ballad,
sort of.
But it's
smooth.
It's about as ballady as we can get. Some people said the Jack was a ballad, but I don't think it really was a ballad. It has its points, but I don't think it's ever going to be a ballad.
But you guys discuss a thing like that, for instance?
No, we would never discuss it. We never discuss music. We just don't discuss it. It's just, listen to this. Oh, fuck yeah.
Get in the mood.
That's it. We never say it. Now, listen, guys. On this album, we're going to have 4 rock ones, 6 middle rock ones. We just don't talk like it's just whatever happens, you know. So, and I mean, we're surprised at the end of it again. Shit, did we do all of them songs? I didn't. It's just we just just play and see what comes out at the end. You know, we keep our fingers crossed what comes out at the end. Yeah.
You are experienced guys. You know already.
Well, no, but still, we're naive. We're naive. We're still naive. Experienced, but naive. We still look at each other with questioning eyes, you know, when they listen. Nobody ever goes, that's fucking great. You know, when they play the song back or something, we always go, that's good. It's what I think. Each one of the bands scared again. Ah, yeah, that rocks. Doesn't it? So the band is just like that. The guys are just like that. I mean, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be me. I can't help it. I'm just so passionate about this stuff. And I go, yeah. And you'll see, there'll be Phil sitting going, nope. and Cliff going, oh, yes. And Mal and I going, yeah. And I go, yeah, blah, blah, yeah, that's good. And put me arms down again. And that's it. But I mean, they're very happy. It's not that they're just. I mean, this is Phil being very happy. That was it. Eyebrows. Yeah.
That's it.
He's fucking great. I love Phil.
For instance, for how many songs in this new album you have that reaction?
Actually, just about every one of them. It was unbelievable. I think this is the first album ever that I've been involved in where I haven't skipped a song when I went, I'm not sure of that one, and I'll go to the next one that I like better. This one is the first time I just let it run. And but what I do now is when I put it on my machine, I just hit random.
Yeah,
yeah, and then it sounds like a different album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always do that. I just hit random and it plays the songs in different order, and it's like a fresh album, you know?
Completely.
Yeah. So you must remember to do that on all your albums. You think you've got a new album, honestly. Because sometimes, you know, when a song finishes, if you've heard an album a million times and the song goes, ba-down, and you go, did-him, because you know what's coming.
The one that's coming afterwards.
Yeah.
That way it's a different experience. Because it's, I feel that's at least 6 radio singles in there, man.
Yes, you know, it's funny, before we started in this thing,
where's the songs?
The guys, yeah.
Big Jack, it's brilliant for me.
Yeah.
Anything Goes.
Yeah.
I like War Machine, it's more a serious thing. But Money Made.
Money Made, yeah,
I like that one also a lot.
Yeah, Money Made.
That probably could be a
Rockin' All the Way, I like it because it's the best rock record I've heard in 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
20 years?
About 20 years, the best. It's nothing and it's everything. It's just this thing you go, oh, yeah. I think, yeah, it just rocks. I don't know why. It's not the best song on the album, but to me, it's the best rock song.
Yeah.
And, oh, shit, there's so many.
There's a lot of them. It's
Stormy Mayday is another one I like. It wouldn't be a single because of, the slide guitar on there, you know?
Yeah, bluesy slide guitar.
Yeah.
I put that.
Yeah.
It reminds... no, she likes rock and roll.
She likes rock and roll.
The guitar remembers me of the Power Age era.
Yeah, that's right.
And so on. You did you make an effort to sound, or Brandon did that.
What's that?
For you guys to be more in
bluesy.
touch with your...
Yeah, absolutely. What Brendan said to me after 2 or 3 days, he said, he stopped us and he went, I finished the song. He said, Brian Jonhson, because that's the way he talks to you. He calls you both names. Brian Jonhson, you are a soul singer. And I said, no, I'm not a soul singer. I said, well, I sing rock and roll. I'm in a rock and roll band. He went, no, you've been singing rock and roll because you have to in a rock and roll band, but you've been trying to sing like Back in Black because that's what you think people expect you to sing. He said, you're singing the blues now, son. He said, and my boy, you are a soul singer, and I want you to keep on singing the whole album like that. And I went, I don't think the boys are going to like that. He went, oh, yes, they will. And I went, all right, fuck it. So I just kept on going, but I was fully expecting to be told to come back and sing them properly. Sing them up there. But the boys just said, yeah, it's perfect. Just keep it like that. So I'm very happy that everybody likes it, because I was a little afraid it might have been a bit too bluesy, But I guess, but it's not a choice. I think it's just as you get older, things change. Your nipples don't stick up as hard.
Not only the nipples.
It's not so much rapid fire anymore.
Of course.
But things change. Your voice gets huskier. Today I was talking to a woman from England on a newspaper, and she said, Brian, we just want to know what happened when you had your throat operation. And I went, what? He said, didn't you have a throat operation? I went, no, I didn't have a bloody throat. I said, if I had one, it would have sounded better than this. He said, no, that's absolute rubbish. Of course I don't. Of course I haven't had I said, no, it's absolute rubbish.
The only operation is a cognac and...
a couple of fags, me wine, and me port.
Don't worry about that thing.
No, I don't worry about voice lessons or coaches or... Fuck it. If my voice went, I'd quit. Yeah. That's it. I'd just say, hey, I'm sorry, guys. This part of the engine's broken. You need a new part. I'm a practical man. That's how life works. You don't start hanging around and going, oh, maybe it's one more. You just get the hell out of there and let the people enjoy somebody new. But I think this one sounds fresh.
Completely. The sound of your voice is the same.
Well, thanks, me.
You forgot to think about those things. Believe me, right?
Yeah.
You just it's a CDC, and then you start thinking, man, the guys are a bit older, but it doesn't show.
Not a bit older,
matter.
a lot older. A lot older.
Forget it, man. You're enjoying it. People are enjoying it. That's what's...
Every day's a good day above the ground.
Hey. That's the message. That's the rock and roll
thing,
for sure. It's brilliant, Brian. To finish, we have to go. Robin, get me the sign.
Okay,
of course.
Son.
An idea for my radio show, if you don't mind.
Absolutely, me son.
You are listening to António Freitas.
Freitas.
Got it right.
Fucking good. Hello, this is Brian Jonhson of AC/DC, and you're listening to my good friend António Freitas.
Perfect.
Oh, hey, lads, come on now. Have I fucked up one? Not a fucking word. Not a fucking word. Not even a pat on the back. You two fucking camera fucking cunt fuck sound fucking make pieces of fucking shape. Not a fucking.
That's lovely. Thanks,
not a pat. You. I'm starting with you. Thanks, guys.
Brian, for the TV, what I would like to do, I don't know. Can we sit up, guys, to do an idea for the TV? Me and him together.
Hi, this is Brian Jonhson with António Freitas, my good friend. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Pessoal, convidar-vos para ver a nossa conversa. Vai ser muito fixe. Com os AC/DC tem novo álbum, Black Ice.
Okay.
Cheers.
That's all right, me old son.
We have to go to the Sintra place.
See, oh, absolutely, me son. I fucking love that
Sorry.
place.
I forgot.